The next speaker will be Toya Dubin of the Hudson Micro Imaging.
35 years, and we've worked on historical materials for about the last 25 years. Collection identification is like one of the key issues in dealing with a project of this size and scope. Identifying those collections within the Holland Society or the Huguenot Society or the Daughters of Holland Dames or any of the other organizations that might potentially contribute really cool materials to this effort is really important. And sometimes you identify those collections that provide the greatest funding opportunity for the organization as a whole. Others, it's those collections that are most fragile and most in need of immediate preservation. Next, we usually define the existence of finding aids or catalogs and indexes, and then we define the size, order, and condition of the collection chosen to determine what's going to be the best digitization method and how can we provide an appropriate analog backup. We never ever want to get into a digitization project without also making sure that there is some kind of microfilm involved, because as much as I am a child of the digital age and love everything that you guys have shown today, which is just unbelievably cool, I also know that 5.25-inch floppy drives, which you guys gave me to look at, and 3.5-inch and CDs and DVDs and all that stuff goes obsolete very quickly. So it's really important for us also to provide some kind of analog backup to this information. This is Kathy, and she's filming for the New York State Newspaper Project, and we've been working with the New York State Library and Museum and Archives now for a decade or more. And we talked, I'm going to give you a little quick primer on digitization, and I'll go as fast as I can through this because I know we have limited time. But typically, we look at the collection itself to determine what's the best way to digitize. Is color important? Is handwritten material? Is the material fragile? Is it three-dimensional? So do we need to photograph it differently than we would a flat object? There are several modes of digitization currently available. They include microfilm scanning in bitonal 4-bit and 8-bit grayscale, flatbed scanning in color, and digital photography. And I love digital photography because you can get an amazing DMIN and DMAX out of it, which you really can't get off of a flatbed scanner. And you can also do three-dimensional objects much better. This is an example of bitonal or 1-bit scanning, which I totally hate, and I put it up here just so that you know what that is. It's really good for like office documents that are laser printed and you want to OCR them and whatever. This is a perfect example of what not to do with 1-bit scanning. This is 8-bit grayscale scanning. You understand the difference between bitonal and grayscale scanning? Bitonal scanning says, you little pixel, if you are 50% of the way to being black, you get to be black, otherwise you get to be white. And it starts at the top left, left to right, top to bottom, and makes that decision all the way along the line. In 8-bit grayscale scanning, you get to be one of 256 shades of gray. This is a scan off of microfilm for the Harvard project that we're working on. And if you can see that section number up there at the top, which is kind of blown out on this projector, you can actually see it very well on my computer. You would lose almost all of that in bitonal scanning because no way is it 50% of the way to being black. So handwritten materials are very, very difficult to do in bitonal scanning. People like bitonal scanning because it provides teeny tiny files that move around the web really fast. Grayscale scanning and color scanning are more difficult to present on the web. This is 24-bit color scanning. This is an antique postcard collection. I just use it as an example. Again, with 24-bit color scanning, each pixel, you make a decision amongst several million colors. And this is 24-bit digital photography, which allows for a level of resolution that's really pretty amazing. This is a detail. This is in Orange County, New York, around 1890 or so. And I use this detail because it really looks a little Dutch there. Obviously, providing access, I'm not even going to go into this because you guys have really pretty much decided how you're going to provide access, and I'm just so overwhelmed with the coolness of what you can do. That bark can just become this amazing 3-dimensional three-dimensional navigation tool. It's awesome. But there's a little case study here. The Daughters of Holland Danes, we were so privileged to work on their membership files. And they were the most meticulous record keepers imaginable. Oh my God. Every one of those membership files had a number. Every ancestor was numbered. And the many-to-many relationship between the ancestors and their applicants was a miracle. It was a beautiful thing. So it created an index to applicants and ancestors and allowed us to create this database that is currently being used by the Daughters of Holland Danes staff and board. And I don't know, the resolution is a little off, so it's kind of hard to see it. But essentially what it allows you to do is pick a surname or a first name and search either the applicants or the ancestors. And it'll list for you applicants and ancestors and their relationship. And once you start the navigation, you will get an applicant number. You see that 673? That person, that applicant actually has a number, and you can relate that number to all of that person's supplemental information. In this case, Barbara Brinkley happens to be related to Olaf Stevenson Van Portland.
You lived on Stone Street.
We also allowed you to print out reports that show you, in this case, this ancestor has 2 pages of related applications. So some of the original ancestors have got a ton of information, and family trees would be possible if they had a little bit more footing and allowed us to spend more time with it. We could do that too. It was particularly interesting because this was all handwritten information, and they had very set ways of dealing with these applications. These ladies remarried 3 and 4 times. Some of them must have lost their husbands, not like them, I don't know, but it was amazing. And they'd always marry back in. That was the other thing that was very interesting. You would often find that the new marriage created another relationship to another ancestor. So we used a limited number of data fields because for budgetary reasons, but I think that this is one of those examples where this project could allow us to expand on what Holland Danes has done within that database and create a database that relates to the Holland Society, which would include the surname, given name, birth date, spouse name, application number, primary ancestor. Well, there are so many ancestors listed on some of them. Holland Society, you could go 5 and 16, which is really neat. Reports for some of these applicants show more than one ancestor. They can all be converted to PDF format and emailed, so like anybody who's doing genealogical research at the Holland Society is able to do that. And there's also images of the original applications, which in the screen's a little bit difficult to read, but in the Holland Society, the membership records were microfilmed through 1977. The image quality is extremely mixed. The Church of Latter-day Saints, sadly, really hasn't really had the kind of experience applied to this particular set of membership records that I really wish. But we scanned some samples off of that film and worked with this image a little bit to get you something that would be worth looking at. Each file contains supplemental information, and the applicants did not initially appear to be numbered. So I looked at those and I thought, oh no. And then I found this and thought, oh my God, what is that? Check out the left-hand column. Those are numbers. They are numbers that relate each of these applicants to some indexed list, which I have yet to find. It's somewhere in that 76 reels of film. 76 reels of film is approximately 76,000 images, and yes, we will find it once we start this project. We were also given a couple of reels of what was listed as membership index. That isn't what it is. It's essentially a set of index cards that cross-references materials in the library to these people, which is really cool, but it's a separate thing than an index of the membership itself.